Welcome to Calvin's Got Game. I'm Calvin.
I'm Lewis.
Today we're bringing you continuing on with our top 100 games of all time for us at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Next year it'll probably change a little bit, not a whole lot, but some. Let me get some housekeeping stuff out of the way. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And I'd like to have probably about 100 and something more subscribers. I got to hit that 500 before December 31st. If I do, I'll give away a game that's reasonably priced, because I had to buy it out of my pocket. But it'll be a 2024 game. So whatever's kind of hot and not too expensive, maybe we can give it away. Some comments we've had. So the last video we had, Kenneth Chill, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. It says he loves Jaws of the Lion and Dead of Winter. So those two they really love. Now, Lazy Hiker's been missing in action for a while, hasn't really commented, but these are some of the games he would like to try from the videos that we've had that he hadn't had a chance to comment on. Honey Buzz, Charterstone, Long Shot the Dice Game, Tokaido, Called Adventure, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Trekking the World, Raiders of Scythia, Trekking Through History, Great Western Trail, The Adventures of Robin Hood, and he said maybe on Juicy Fruits. Maybe. And so he's keeping up with how many crossovers on his top 100 as what we have. And so far he's had 6 crossovers with me. He said 0 with you, Lewis. But he says that probably change soon. So, with all that being said, let's get on with our top games. Our next set, we're doing 20 to 11. And Lewis, it's your first go.
I go first today. Alrighty, starting on number 20. It's Call to Adventure, the Stormlight Archives. This is basically the first set that came out in 2020. Brotherwise Games, 1 to 4 players, is ranked 3,277 on BGG, 30 minutes to an hour to play. And that's actually close to be right, depending on how many players you have.
Right.
Yeah. Just like the other Call to Adventure game, you set up, pick a character to base your little storyline on. You have 3 acts. You roll rune stones to see if you acquire the card that's in row Act 1. You have 4 to 5 choices depending on the number of players. As soon as you acquire that first one, you can go on to the second one, and so on. One thing I didn't mention, as soon as everybody's done gathering Act 1 is done. You can't go back and get another Act 1 card. Now, if you're done with Act 1, can you go back and get an Act 1 card when Act 2 is visible? No. There was an old rule said that you could, long as it's visible. No, you cannot do it. That was a misprint, and someone that saw the video made a comment about that in person at 3 Sons. I said, no, that was a misprint. You cannot. As soon as you get Act 1 card, you must go on to Act 2 and then Act 3.
Because that's what's building your story, Act 1, 2, and 3. And if you get multiple Act 1s, they may contradict what you
Yes, they will. But yeah, it's an easy game. Loosely based on D&D. Very loosely, not much. But it's a great game.
Yeah, I like those Call to Adventure games. They're good. They're good. That was number 20 for you?
That was number 20 for me.
All right, number 20 for me is a big hitter. It's called Near and Far. This is this was ranked number 6 on my last list. It's ranked 231 on BGG. It's by Red Raven Games. It's for 2 to 4 players. It takes about 90 to 120 minutes to play. I like Red Raven Games. I own quite a few of those. We talked about them earlier, Above and Below. I have Near and Far. I also have Islebound. I've had Rome. There's some other Red Raven games. Ancient World. All of them are really, really good. Love the artwork. Love the world that they're set in. Near and Far adds a little more than Above and Below. You actually have more exploring, things of that, but it also gives you the opportunity to take a character and run through a scenario to give you their story, right? And each character has their own storyline. So I find it to be rather enjoyable. If you like it and you like to go through those kind of things, then I think Near and Far would be for you. Near and Far, my number 20. Absolutely love it.
Number 19 for me. It's a new board game just acquired in my collection. You actually gave it to me.
Oh, I did?
You did. You got it for me. It's Flamecraft.
There you go.
A 2020 game, cardboard alchemy publisher. 1 through 5 players. It's ranked 365 on BGG. It's about an hour to play. Use dragons. This is a little market side. You go from little marketplaces to acquire little items. As you acquire items, you can get cards. As you get cards, you get more little powerful stuff to move up on the point track. As you keep moving, you have to be aware of two decks. There's 2 decks. One deck that lets you get points. Another one allows you to get more dragons. Either deck goes out, the game ends. But the person that triggers the end phase, everyone else gets another turn. So there is a chance to come back from behind to win. There are hidden goals. You get little goals that you have to meet only. The one thing about this game, you have many options. You don't have to really go to a set shop to get resources.
Okay.
Because if you do, and there's another dragon there, you have to pay one of your resources to each dragon that's there.
That's there.
So if one is there, 1 resource. If there's 3 dragons there, you have to pay 3 different resources. No, can be the same resource, but 3 resources.
Yeah, you got to get rid of 3 resources.
It's a cute little game. I just got it recently. And just yesterday, I finished getting all the upgrades to the game. I know Kevin is an upgrade. But this is a game that I know I'm going to play a lot. I know I'm going to be get into the table as much as I can. So I don't buy most upgrades to a game. But this one, I went, you know what? No, this one will be used a lot. Let me get the upgrades for this one.
I've never played this game, Lewis. I know you played it at Three Sons with Christine and them, and I knew you liked it. And so I wanted to get it for you. But I've never played it. So I've still yet to play the game.
Well, the personally, the solo version of the game, most folks say, well, I don't know about the solo version, and a lot of mechanics, how it works. I believe Flamecraft has one of the best solo versions, mechanics of running through the cards. Okay. Because at the end of the rule book, there's goals to make. And you don't use all the cards in the solo mode. You have to unlock each goal to unlock each card to put in the deck. And as you go through it and do your points, if you meet the required points, you can look at, okay, which goal are completed, and then you switch cards out. Okay, I like the mechanic right there. So even though you might beat it 5 times, did you meet the goals to get those extra cards in there? It's a nice little solo mechanic that many games don't have on with theirs. Right. So, number 19, Flamecraft.
My number 19 is another heavy hitter. This is a big-time game. This was my number 1 the last time it was on the list. And now it's number 19. Forgotten Waters.
Ooh,
this is by Plaid Hat Games. It's ranked 292 on BGG. It's 3 to 7 players, 120 to 240 minutes. Now, I do play this game 2-player because I like it so much. I can't always get 3 players to the table. I play a 2-player, and my wife and I will rotate out who moves the other character to where, and we control their sheet just like anything else. And that player can do well or not well, whatever. But I love the thematic piratey theme of the game, right? And it has a wonderful companion app that reads the story to you. It's got some jokes. It's funny. It's thematic. You're trying to stay away from a ship out there that's trying to get you as you're trying to accomplish your goal. And there's so many things to do. You get to turn to different pages in this storybook and what you can do on that page. I just think it's such a wonderful game. And they're coming out with some other ones like it. I can't remember what the name of it is, but I'm really excited about that one. It may already be out. But Forgotten Waters is one of my favorites, and that's why it's my number 19.
Good. I've heard of it, never played it though.
It's so good. It just needs 3. It shines at 3 or more players.
My number 18 is a little card game my wife likes. She really likes card games. She does.
She does. Well, I mean, she has a lot all the time, you know. So,
Zero Down. 19. I knew it. A 1998 game, blue or orange games, 2 to 5 players. Does not have a ranking on BGG. Last time I looked.
Here.
No, last time I looked. Let me double look, check again now. Now it does. It's 4,483. About 20 minutes to play. I think you mentioned it already once.
I have the game.
Yeah, I know you do.
And I played it wrong for about 3 or 4 times we played it. I played it wrong because I thought you had to wait until you had 5 of a certain color and 3 of a number with one of those numbers being in that same color before you could go down or knock or whatever, right? Well, that's not the case.
No, it's
so now that I know how to play it, it's a little bit better game. I wouldn't call it fabulous, but it is a little bit better.
Yes, like you mentioned, you get dealt 9 cards. Every player gets 9 cards. There are, depending on the number of players, you either have 3, 4, 5 cards on the table. And you can interchange. You take a card.
But that's it. You take the deck away. There's no drawing, nothing.
No. It's whatever is on the table and whatever is folks' hands. And as soon as you get 4 colors of the same thing, or 4 numbers of the same digit, you can knock. The next person, the second knock, calls the end of the game. Everybody reveal their hands, and you do scoring. 4 colors of the same thing is 0. 4 numbers.
It's 5 of the same color. Because or 5 numbers or 5 of 4 colors. You could do it however interchangeably, but one of those numbers when you're doing 4 or the numbers has to be one of the 5.
Yes, and is 0. So let's say you get all the colors, but you're stuck with 3 sevens. It's not 21, and a lot of folks get this wrong. Mm-hmm. It's not 21 points. It's just 7.
Just 7.
It only counts as 1. So you keep going, and you do, depending on the number of players, you do either 3 rounds, 5 rounds, or 7 rounds. And the ones with the less points wins the game. Mm-hmm. But if you can get 0, you automatically win the game on that. It is not easy.
No.
It's not. It does take some thinking around this. And a lot of folks that I played with knock real quick. Then they realize, I shouldn't have knocked.
Well, and then if they knock, whoever knocks the second time, it doesn't matter if it's the same person or another person. If it's the second knock in the round, that round is over. It'll come back around to the person who did the second knock, and it's over.
Yep.
So you'll have one more chance. If Lewis is the one knocking the second time, well, it comes all the way back around to me, and then it's over when it comes to Lewis. Done. Yep. We show our hands. We add up points. Yeah.
So that was my number 18.
I can't believe you played that, Lewis, and like it that much. I like the game okay, but it was no way it's ever going to make my top 100. No, absolute no way.
Well, it's my wife. My wife
get it,
likes.
And if your wife's playing it and you enjoy spending time with her, then yeah, I can see where that's on your list. I like it a lot. I do. We played another game kind of like that gnoming around.
Yeah, gnoming around.
And it's but it's a little bit of different. You got a grid and you're playing cards in your grid. Wasn't a bad game. I enjoyed it. One of these days I'm gonna do a video on Grandpa Bet games.
Oh yeah,
my top 5 or whatever, and maybe you can be included on that, Lewis. Maybe I don't know how many they have, but
I think they have about 7 now.
Yeah. So we can do the top 3 of our favorite or something like that. But anyway, I digress. My number 18 is called Dice Realms. This is ranked. It wasn't on my list before. It's ranked 2,627 from Rio Grande Games. 2 to 4 players, 45 to 60 minutes. This game has a mechanism or gimmick, whatever you want to call it, that I enjoy. And you're changing out the faces on the dice.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Not Rattlebones, but this is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Dice Forge does that as well, but I didn't care for Dice Forge. Dice Realms, you have different things that you can put out to make the game different. It's a different setup each time. You can have something different. You can randomly select them, or you can go with the deal already in the book. And you'll put different dice faces on your dice from what you get out there, what you're rolling, what you buy. It's just really good. And you're going to score victory points. Whoever has the most victory points, of course, wins the game. But it's just so comforting to me. The little small pieces, let me tell you, when you first get the game and you have to separate all them daggum little pieces, that was a chore. But once you get them separated, it has a nice system of putting everything in the box. So it keeps it all together. But I really enjoy that different gameplay of what you buy, what dice you're rolling, how you're rolling. And it is luck. I mean, come on. Every game that has dice in it has some luck, right? But you can control your luck a little bit by what you put on the dice and how you're building that engine. It's kind of like an engine, what you're building. I enjoyed it a lot. It was given to me by some friends of mine, Josh and Erica. It's a great game. I really enjoy it. That's why number 18 is Dice Realms.
I've heard of it. I've seen a couple of videos on the play, but never played it personally.
I got it right down there, and I really love it.
Number 17 for myself. Knights of Glory, a 2019 game. Blue Gear Games, 2 to 5 players. And I'm looking at it right now still. No ranking on BGG on this one.
Nobody's ranked it enough. It's relatively... I mean, they're a new company.
Yes.
I mean, they've been out a while, but... that game is not getting as much love as it should.
No, it's not. And it should get a lot of love. It's a bluffing game. It really is. Straight up bluffing game. There's certain levels you go up as you do. You have dice. You
have cards in your hand.
Yeah, not cards. Cards, not dice.
Well, you do roll dice.
Yeah, you do roll dice.
But you have to meet the problems with your cards.
Right. There's little problems on the side of the track. And you have to meet what you have in the hand. Now, you can bluff somebody. You can bluff the whole group. And if anybody challenges you, you gotta show your hand. If nobody challenges you, you keep going up, going up. But eventually, you're gonna have to start revealing those cards.
And you only have 5, so you can't go too far.
No, you can't. But you keep going up. At a certain point, the level starts dropping off. And if you are behind a certain level, you are out of the game.
That's right.
Now, have I ever won this game? No. I'm good bluffing on card games, especially poker. This, I have yet to figure out how to bluff well enough on here. I'm still having my issues with this one, but I enjoy the game. I want to see how far I could get it without doing any of... There's a couple of cards, a wild card, a joker card that you can manipulate in the game. But I try not to get those. I actually chunk them away to get just...
No, me, I'm keeping them. Maybe that's why you don't win, Lewis.
Well, I want to do a little bit different. You know me, I'm a wild card. But Knights of Glory is a great game for me. I like the bluffing aspect. Everyone's trying to guess it. And there is a little cheat sheet letting know everybody how many cards of each kind is in there.
Right.
And folks try to count. But after a while, you're so concerned about yourself and where are you on the track that you just completely forget about it and just keep going. But Knights of Glory, number 17 for myself.
And they have these little free passes that you get when you call someone out. You know,
Yes.
And you can get a free pass. There's some other ways you get a free pass. I don't remember all of them right off the top of my head. But this game, I don't think it'll ever make it in my top 100, but it's definitely probably in my top 150. I would say, because I enjoy playing it. Once we get it out and we play it with a larger group, it is a blast. It's a lot of fun. And if you like bluffing games, if you like Sheriff of Nottingham, which is boring as all get out, you would love Knights of Glory. I think it's just much streamlined. It's a pokery kind of thing. I mean, you're bluffing, you're trying to get the right things. If you have to go through this one cave, you roll some dice and it says you got to have a sword, you got to have a shield or a torch or whatever, and you're trying to say, okay, you place your cards face down and say, here's my sword, here's my shield. And everybody goes, I don't know if he's got that now because I got 2 shields in my hand. There's only so many cards, so you're going, Nah, you ain't got it, right?
Yeah.
Because somebody said, no, you ain't got it. And you have to flip over your cards. And if you don't have it, then you have to move back a deal. It's a great little game. I think it's fun for a larger group.
It is.
And I think if you like bluffing and you like just chaotic fun, I think you'd like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great party game. Great party game. And it is good for, I think the sweet spot is between 4 to 5 players.
Yeah, I think the more the merrier. It played the full, I don't know how many it plays up to.
It plays up to 5.
Yeah, I think the full gambit would be just as fun because you're wanting to watch what everybody else is doing, so you can either call them out or not, and you want to make sure that you're involved in the game so that you're not left behind.
Right.
I think it's a wonderful game. Should be higher. Doesn't get enough love for sure.
It's not.
All right, my number 17 is a game called Stone Age. It's an older game. It was not on my list last year or the year before. This one is ranked 162 on BGG. It's by Z-Man Games. It's 2 to 4 players. It takes about 60 to 90 minutes to play. Yes, there's a lot of luck in Stone Age. You're putting your workers out to go collect brick, wood, gold, stone, and however many workers you put out there, you roll dice for them. So if you got 2 workers, you roll 2 dice. You have this beautiful leather cup that stinks half the time because it's leather and it gets old and stanky. And then you roll the dice and you have something like wood is like you get 1 wood for every 2 pips on the dice. So you divide it. So if you have 12, you roll a 12, you divide it by 2, you get 6 wood. Okay? If you only roll a 3, you're going to get 1 wood. There's no rounding up. It's round down, right? So you send out 2 workers. They don't bring back but 1 wood. You're like, dadgummit. Yes, some people may get a better roll than you, and I know some people don't like that. But it's about choices. What do you put out there? And you only have so many people you can put. And depending on how many players, only so many people can go to these spots. They have some that anybody can go to, like collecting food. And you have to feed your people at the end of the year. So you have to have 2, I think it's 1 food feeds 2 people or something like that. But if you don't feed your people, and then you got to start feeding them resources. They get to eat on a stick of wood or bite a rock or something, right? But you can get rid of resources for that. Maybe you're getting rid of resources to get food from other people. But anyway, however that works. But Stone Age is just a lot of fun. You're buying these advancements for your in-game scoring. You're buying these cards that give you extra things or helps you on the food track, helps you up another track, or you're just scoring victory points. It's just a fun game. I enjoy playing it, and it is an older game. This thing's been around a while. I mean, since 2008. So, I mean, the game is quite old.
Yeah, it is.
But to me, it stands the test of time, and I know some people don't like it because of the dice rolling, the luck of the dice. I get it. But that's my number 17, Stone Age.
I actually have played that before. I like it. I like the roll of the dice. luck.
I like it just because, I like games with dice. It gives you that kind of that, like we talked about with other games, to where you have secret people and you're got that antsiness of what's going to happen. And I think dice give you that as well.
Yeah.
It gives you that randomness in a game without it being so bad. And putting more people out there helps you mitigate maybe having a bad roll, not getting anything. You put more people, you get to roll more dice, you could possibly get more stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, I like it. For those of you who don't, tough. How's that?
My number 16. I don't think this is a crossover yet, but no, I don't think so. It's Endless Winter. A 2022 game, Fantasia Games, 1 to 4 players. It's ranked 280 on BGG. About an hour to 2 hour playtime. It is one of the few games I have that are work placement and deck builder at the same time. And you're placing out little, not folks, but little teepees all around the board. And as you move pulling stuff out, you can acquire cards, acquire supplies, and manipulate which cards to use. It is a deck builder game. The deck part, you can either score during the time at that round or at the end of the round. Some cards will only score at the end of the round. Some cards will score on your turn. And there's a few cards, if you can afford them, score at the end of the game, which they're a little bit harder to get, but it's worth it. You are putting your little tent out on little tiles, and the tiles, depending on how you connect them, you can either get one resource, two resources, or several resources. Now the tiles also have little markers that you flip over as soon as you meet the requirements, and they will give you extra benefits every round. However, if you have more folks there, you have to share the resources among them with the other players. But it's a 4-turn base, because there's a gathering and then a harvest each phase, and then you have the final total on this of the game. It is a fast-moving game. It says 2 hours. It can be 2 hours with more players, but about an hour and a half really is the length of this game. Endless Winter is ranked 280. I think probably it's going to drop off a little bit more next year with some of the newer games that are coming out. There are work placement and deck builders that's coming out later on this year, I believe.
I don't know if I played Endless Winter.
I don't think you have.
We played something to where we had to work together. I thought it was Endless something.
It was in...
It's okay. You don't have to go look for it. But you're working... You have to help somebody with some cars to maybe kill a buffalo or something.
Yeah.
It was Endless something, but I don't remember it. This is not that game.
No, it's not that game.
Okay.
It's the other... it's a time frame of the Neanderthals trying to survive in the winter time.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wasn't a fan. I liked it okay, but it was the fact that you could waste your turn on that other game. But anyway, we won't talk about that other game. Never played Endless Winter. I might have to. I guess I've always looked at the box and connected that one
with the other.
A
lot of folks do, and that's why Endless Winter is ranked high. But a lot of folks get confused with the other one. And the other one, it is more for folks that have been playing games and don't mind to lose a turn to help the end goal, because the other one is a cooperative game. This one is not.
Stop it now. All right. My number 16. is a game that I tell you, I adore all these games. I love all these games, and it's true. When you're in the top 20, you got to get some love, right? So now this game is probably not loved by a lot of people, but I like it. It's called Dark Moon. It was not on my list last time. It's ranked 1,417. It's a Stronghold Games. 3 to 7 players, 60 to 75 minutes. I don't keep a lot of 3-player games. 3-player games or more in my collection because I don't have a lot of people to play with, right? Now, this Dark Moon, I played it many, many times with our game group. We laugh, we yell and scream. It's just chaotic fun with a trader. There is going to be a trader, more than likely. It's kind of like Dead of Winter where you shuffle enough cards in where there may or may not be a trader, but most of the time we always have a trader. You're trying to get the ship back to home. You're out there floating in space, and you're getting these missions from how to repair things or whatever from the mission cards or whatever. And you're rolling dice behind your screen. You get asked, do you want to participate in this mission? If you do, you'll say yes, you'll contribute so many dice, and it goes around the table. Well, these dice have negatives, and they have positives. Most of the time, you got more negatives than positives, I think. But anyway, you roll the dice. You may not be the trader, but you have to add a dice to the thing. And so you may have to add a negative because you don't have a positive. And so you put it out there and they're like, oh, man, you're a trader. And you're not a trader. And you can't tell. Well, you can kind of say, I'm not the trader. You can lie. Or you can tell the truth. They'll still think you're lying. But the game is just so fun because you just don't know who the trader is. And I think because of that system of rolling the dice behind the screen and you're taking that chance to try to help the team, but then you don't get the opportunity because the dice you rolled suck that turn, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to look like the traitor, and it's a horrible feeling that you're not helping everybody, and everybody's pointing a finger at you because all of some miraculous way everybody else puts in a positive when you're the only one that put in a negative, right? Even the traitor puts in a positive one, so he looks all fresh and good, you know. So it's one of those games that's just so much fun. I like trader games, and I think they're great. I know Sam Healy from Dicer, I don't think used to be with Dicer, I think he's back. But anyway, don't think he likes this game at all. I think he hates the whole I'm putting out a negative because it's all I roll. Well, that's part of then don't participate in that event or whatever.
Right.
If you don't want to do that. But you've got to try to participate to get the deals. But Dark Moon, we've had so much fun with it. It's just such a great game. I need to get it to the table more often. I'd love to get it to the table more often. And I know Kyle, my friend Kyle, he's gotten the expansion for it, so he really liked it as well. And I can't wait to get back and play it again. Hopefully he'll come down and we can all get to play it at Three Sons. Dark Moon is my number 16.
I played that before, and I remember I rolled 5 times, got negative every single time, and I kept nope, I can't, I couldn't, but everybody's like, you're the trader, you're not doing anything. I can't.
Yeah, it's a horrible thing, horrible.
But yet I didn't want to lose the game.
There's sometimes nothing you can do about it.
No, can't do nothing about it. But I do love the game. I do love it. Number 15 for myself is New York Zoo, a 2020 game. Furtherlands Speaks, a publisher, 1 to 5 players, 817 on BGG, about an hour of gameplay on this one. It's a cute little fast-moving game, actually. You put a long board out with indentions. You have animals. You have, not animals, correction. You have tiles. Think of those tiles as Tetris. Mm-hmm. And you are putting those tiles on in your zoo. And as you come by, you can either take the tile or don't take the tile. But as you also come by, you can gather animals. Now everybody has an individual board. They have to manipulate to get stuff on there. But as soon as you get acquire the animals to put in the zoo, there's a certain number of them that for each one, you get to get points along that way. And you think you can fill the whole board, then you look and going, I have one square. And all the one squares are gone and going, and they go, no. Or you see, and you got to move around. Soon as a square is emptied out with tiles, you skip that number because you only can move so much. And you skip that number, and then you realize, oh, I'm going to end up skipping what I need. And you have to manipulate the way you leave yourself open, not to be stuck with one tile to fill in to put together, get the whole zoo filled up. You don't have to do it to get the grand points, but it helps.
Right.
It helps. It's a fun little game. It's a quick little game. It's really yourself competing with the board, and it's not too much take that. There's a little bit.
Well, if somebody drafts a tile you want before you get it. But.
Yeah, but it's a quick little game. What I like about it is the miniatures.
The little wooden and the little animals.
Yes, that's what attracted me to the game. The miniatures and how the tiles were set up, making you think of Tetris, and how it just went all together. So the components, that's what gravitated me toward the game on there. So that's why New York Zoo is my number 15.
I think New York Zoo would be on my list. It didn't make my list. I haven't played it enough, right? I've only played it maybe once, twice, maybe. And both times they were fun. I enjoyed it. The first time I played it, I was like, man, this game is weird. You know, they had a mating period where if you got some in the pen, you get to make more animals. I'm like, okay, it's whatever. I guess that's how you get more animals in your pen to fill it up so you can go up the score track. Get it. But I just thought it was a little odd, and the Tetris thing has been done a lot with a lot of different games, Isle of Cats, My City, all these games that have these little Tetris-y pieces. What is it, the summer... anyway, you know what I'm talking about, the little games, Summer Garden or whatever it's called. I like them. I like Tetris. I used to love playing Tetris back in the day, right? The whole turning it around while it's falling, trying to get it to go in the right place. But I think the more I play New York Zoo, it would probably be on my list at some point. It'd be a lot lower than my top 20, but I think it would be on my list at some point. I do love the components, like Lewis said, great components.
Yeah.
But it is not really mean unless somebody goes around and takes the exact pieces that you're wanting in front of you, you know, which can happen. But yeah, I think it's a good choice, Lewis. Good choice. My number 15 is The Quacks of Quedlinburg. This was ranked number 16 on my list way back, or on 2022, I believe my list was. This is ranked 64 on BGG. This is by Schmidt Spiel Games. 2 to 4 players, 45 minutes play. Now, I want the upgraded components for the Quacks of Quedlinburg. Problem is, they cost as much as the daggum game, right? Just the component, just the little pieces, cost as much as the game. So, and I've been to some conventions where you can buy them and stuff like that. They're very pretty, very nice, and I love the textile feel of them. But I'm not going to buy them. Just not going to do it. Now, this game is a bag. You know, you pull stuff out of a bag, you put it on your board, you're trying not to explode your pot with these little cherry bombs. If you get over 7, you'll explode your pot, and you can only do one thing. You can either buy ingredients or you can collect the victory points. This game is just so much fun. It's kind of probably like New York Zoo, where you have your own, you're playing your own game really in front of you, your board, right? That's what it is on Quacks of Quedlinburg. This is probably the only simultaneous gameplay that I will play. Because, I'm sorry, I'm one of those people that think if everybody's playing at the same time, somebody's cheating.
Yeah.
But in this game, I don't feel that way. For some reason, I don't feel that way. But you're too busy trying to find your own board anyway. That is just so much fun. And I don't think everybody cheats out there. Please don't get me wrong. I don't. I just know, back in the day when I was playing games with my brother, big cheater. No, I'm just kidding. He would cheat every now and then. He'd hide his ship off the board, in Battleship, or, take extra money if he was the banker for Monopoly, stuff like that. I'm sure it was all in fun and jest. But anyway, Quacks of Quedlinburg is such a fun game, and you can play it with different ingredients. So I enjoy it a lot. Quacks of Quedlinburg is my number 15. If you haven't ever played it, which I doubt somebody hasn't played Quacks of Quedlinburg. You played it, Lewis?
I have played it.
Okay.
I have played it.
Don't tell me it was you, Lewis.
No, I have played it.
If somebody hasn't played it, and you've got to find somebody that owned it or find a local game store to go play that, I think you'll enjoy it. It's just so nice.
That's one game I want to get in my collection. Because I will make a little house rule that if you explode, you have to quack the rest of the time. Why? Just to irritate my wife.
Just to irritate everybody else.
Yes. Oh, especially irritate my wife. Just to do it.
Shame, Lewis. Shame.
Yes, I'm very shameful.
You know what they say? Happy wife, happy life. You aggravate her, we get momentary fun, but the rest of the day is terrible.
My number 14. One of the trekking games that my wife actually likes. She really likes this one. Her Story.
Let me interrupt you real quick. Christine told me this would be on your list. She didn't know what your list was, but Christine said, because I told her you'd put some trekking games. She goes, well, Her Story will be on his list. I said, how? It's not a trekking game. She goes, it's in the trekking line. So there you go. Yeah, take it away, Lewis.
Yep. 2022 game, Underdog Games, 2 to 5 players, 4,832 ranked on BGG, about 32 an hour gameplay. When I looked it up and saw how low it was ranked, I'm going, you know what? I don't think enough folks have played this game to really understand the fun of it, how it can be interesting every time. Because technically you are a librarian, going to the library, trying to find what you want for your research. But you have to get certain ingredients. I say ingredients, and that's a generic thing because all the games I play, you got to get ingredients to build stuff. Really, certain markers to go and get a certain card and fill up what you need. And as soon as you make a fill up a requirement, you gain those points. Now you cannot go back. So you can hold that on your board. Everybody has their individual board. You can hold some cards to the side. See if you're going to use them. There's one little special card called Pass. Called the library card actually, and you can use that to kind of manipulate what's on the board. But as you fill in your requirements, you start making a story, and you don't realize as you do this, you're actually catering to what you like to read. I played this with my wife several times. I played it with some other folks, and they look and go, you know what? I noticed that these books is what I like actually reading. I did not realize all this is combined. Now, it doesn't happen for everybody.
Sure.
Yeah. There are some folks that inadvertently end up doing that because they go past the points, they go what they like. And I think that's what makes Her Story a little bit different. Folks forget about the points and start looking at the characters, looking at what they like, and start getting those for their play area. It's one board games I quickly sleeved because the cards, nice make of cards, but I want to protect them because Trekking Through Time, a lot of good information on the back of these cards, and that's what my wife likes, the extra information that these games provide for more learning on it. So her story, number 14 for me.
Never played it, and I guess I always thought it was just a girl game. Her story, you know. So, and not that I have anything against a girl game or guy game. You can play whatever you want. But that, you look at it, it's like her story. You're thinking that's made for ladies or women or whoever, young girls, to learn about the history of women and what they accomplished through history. Right. That's what I took from it. Not that it's a bad game or not that I wouldn't play it, but that's what I look at when I see that.
And I understand the marketing of it and why they did it, because there are fewer book reading for young ladies other than it's like a gothic or little teen storyline
or a little love story.
A little stuff. Yeah. They really don't. Not all young ladies, but a lot of young ladies just don't gravitate toward that. It's just like young men gravitate more. A lot of them gravitate more to sports books, more to adventure books. But I've read several books in my lifetime, more than I can count. I was going up to in the time where if you read so many books, you get this many prizes from the library. Yeah. And
or you get a free personal pan pizza.
Personal pan pizza. Oh, every year I will already make 500 books by the end of the school year, and I was making because at the end of the month, here's your gifts. At the end of the month, I treated myself for pan pizza.
Exactly right.
Yeah, and so I think in my childhood, I can tell you for sure, when I was in middle school, I read every book that library had.
Well, I'm glad that there's games out there that talk about what women's accomplished in history, or what their contribution to history has been, right?
Yes.
Because in the past, girls' games, and I say games that girls played, was Mystery Date.
Yes.
The mall game.
Game, yes.
Some kind of shopping game or something, right? And so it put them in a little stereotypical role. Or they were doing D&D back in the day where they were some kind of wielding warrior or whatever,
yes.
And that's great. But I think that's a good idea. I've never played it. I'd probably play it. I don't know if I'd like it or not, but if it's in the trekking line, I'm sure it's good, and I'm sure it has some good mechanics behind it. So, all right, my number 14. If I can get over here. My number 14 is Sleeping Gods. Sleeping Gods was not on my list last time. It's ranked 54 on BGG. It is a Red Raven game, and it plays 1 to 4 players. Takes about 60 to 120 minutes to play. Now, this game is an open sandbox type game. Every person you have this ship with certain areas in it. And if you put a cube out there, you get to activate whatever area that is, right? So you get to do what that says. There's some scenarios. Once you complete the scenarios you're going through, there's a book where you can go to islands and you're sailing out in the sea. There's sea monsters. There's all kinds of things, right? Absolutely love the game. It's a lot of fun. It's a little mind-bending sometimes, trying to wrap your head around all of it, trying to keep up with all the little rules here and there. But overall, Sleeping Gods is a blast. If you like an open-world adventure game, and you can play it by yourself or you can play it with a group of folks for up to 4, I think that Sleeping Gods is for you. And it's set in a world of Red Raven does all the artwork. It is fantastic. It's a beautiful game. If you hadn't played it, go check it out. Sleeping Gods.
like the artwork.
The artwork's beautiful, and every one of his games are.
Yeah, it's every one of them. I like the artwork. I like the concept. Don't like the gameplay.
You don't like that? That's fine.
I don't. But to be all fair, I played it once.
Yeah.
I played it once, and again, some games it just depends the group you play with.
It is, and it's about, like I said, it's also how your mindset is when you go into the game.
Yes.
Because you might not be up. My wife and I play a lot of games, but if I try to teach her a new game at 8:00 at night, you can forget it. Because her mind is spent from the day at work.
Mm-hmm.
She's just tired. She doesn't want to think. Now, easier games, if it's something really easy or something kind of mild, she won't mind learning it. But if it's something like you got to put some brain power to, she's like, can we do this another day? Can we do this during the day or on a Saturday? Sure. So I try to save those games for that. And that can also weigh on whether you like the game or not.
Right, it does.
For sure. Like I've told the story about Covert. I played that game with Kyle and some other folks. It was his game, and I was so tired that night we were playing, and I was like, I just want this game to end. Yeah. I don't care who wins. I don't get it. I'm not understanding the concept. I just want it to end. But I played it a second time, like, oh, I see what we're supposed to be doing, right? My mind was gone, right? I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, number 14 for me is Sleeping Gods, and it is fantastic. I don't care what Lewis says. No. Yeah, it's fine. And like I said, you might give it another try, and you might go, wow, this is better than I remember.
Yeah.
And if you don't, that's fine, too.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine, too.
Number 13. You have mentioned this.
Uh-oh.
You have mentioned this already. Mysterium.
Have I mentioned Mysterium?
I thought you have.
Let me go back and look.
Okay.
Let me look and I'll tell you.
Okay. Mysterium. 2015 game. Libellum. And I know I messed that up on the publisher. Sorry about that. 2 to 7 players. Ranked 388 on BGG. About 4, and they're being Pacific here, 42 minutes gameplay. Honestly, it should be about an hour gameplay on this. Gist of it, you're a dead ghost. These are individuals trying to figure out who killed you. You have 7 rounds to communicate to these individuals of who killed you. As the rounds go on, you can give them clues. The thing is, you cannot speak. There's no talking in this game. You just give clues out, and they trying to figure out what clue are you trying to relate to them. Mm-hmm. And I've played this several times. I like playing the ghost, but after I play with the group, every group I play with, you're not the ghost no more.
Yeah, no. Lewis gives terrible clues.
What it is I just have more of an artistic mindset, and my clues, I think they're good.
I'm gonna put it like this: all of us think we're giving great clues, and the people that are getting the clues going, "This dude don't know what he's doing." Yeah. It doesn't matter who's up there. It doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't matter because sometimes you are just drawing cards that is like. Really?
Oh, odd. Well, they're just odd. They don't match anything out there.
Yeah, and you're trying to give something out to the folks. But there is a little raven that you can use to do it like a mulligan.
Right.
I never used the raven. Why? I just don't like using the raven. I want to challenge myself. I want to communicate this information to the players. But it's hilarious. When I'm the ghost, I tell you right now, we don't win. We just don't win.
Well, I think we won one time. We got really close.
Yeah, really close.
We won. I think we got close.
Yes, we got close to the last person, and no, it didn't make it. So, but the times I have played it, and I'm not the ghost, I climb on that ladder really quickly because I just could interpret a little bit more easier. And I guess just the way my mind artistically looks at everything. Now, it gets to the final level, that's a little bit more difficult for me. The final level is a little bit more harder.
It depends on how many clues you get at that final level. Some people only get 1 clue. Some people get 3 clues. Some people get 2 clues. So it just depends.
Yes.
On how many clues you get to rein it in. So yeah.
But it's a fun game. It's really good. It says 2 to 7 players. For me, 5 is a sweet spot. 5 is a sweet spot.
I think the more the merrier.
Yeah.
Because at 2, I just don't see how it works.
No,
with 2 players. I mean, I guess it can, but you're only giving clues to 1 person, and I just don't see that.
No,
I don't see it.
I like 5. 1 being the ghost, and 4 trying to solve it.
And I would probably play at 4. 4 would be okay, but anything less than 4, I don't think would be as fun.
So number 13, Mysterium. For kicks and giggles, I like it.
Oh, I like it too. It didn't make my list, Lewis. I haven't.
Oh, did it? Okay, I think it did.
And hasn't made my list. And I think I like Mysterium Park a little bit more than I like Mysterium because it's shorter. A little bit shorter. Not as big a setup time, not as big of everything. Same game, just, I mean, it is the exact same game.
Yeah, it is the same game.
But I like it. And I like Obscurio pretty well, too. So both of those, and I like Mysterium. I play, if somebody was right now say, hey, let's play Mysterium. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'll play. So, yeah, I like it. Any of these games that we're talking about right now, except for Zero Down, would I go play right now?
What's wrong? I'm gonna keep doing it.
All right, so number 13 for me is it's a cooperative game. I've had 2 cooperative games so far on this list. I guess you could say Dark Moon was kind of a cooperative game, but it has a traitor aspect. But anyway, my number 13 is Cthulhu Death May Die. This was not on my list in 2022. It's ranked number 58 on BGG. It is by Cool Mini or Not. 1 to 5 players, 90 to 120 minutes to play. If you like Cthulhu and you like solving kind of a puzzle and you like killing priests, the evil priests and Cthulhu and all his minions, this is a game for you. And it can get ugly in a hurry. You have this basically setup placement, tile placement of things. And then you have a certain role of a player. You can be equipped with a gun or whatever. And you're trying to take down the evil plot that is going on before Cthulhu awakens. Once Cthulhu awakens and comes on the board, you've got to kill Cthulhu. You have to. This game is not easy, and yes, it has the dice chucking luck in it by doing hits or not hitting, but I just love it. The figurines, when you get so many figurines on the board that you can't even fit them all in a room, it is just chaotic fun. And yes, people can die, and it's okay. They'll be out of the game. It continues. You don't just shut down when one person goes, but it's going to be a lot harder for everybody else. Cthulhu Death May Die is a fantastic cooperative game. The rule set's easy. The gameplay is easy. Some little things that you have to keep up with, but they're pretty relatively easy. Fantastic game. If you haven't played Cthulhu Death May Die, and you say you don't like Cthulhu, but you like some dungeon crawlers and you like shoot 'em ups, check out Cthulhu Death May Die. Think you might like it.
You have said enough of it. I actually have looked on YouTube about gameplay and see the whole playthrough. It's one game I do want to play because I have not played that yet.
It's a hoot, Lewis. You'll enjoy it. It's a hoot. Even if you lose, it's just fun. It's just a fun game, and if you lose, sometimes it doesn't take you very long to lose. That you can start a new game rather quickly. So.
But I know it's a game that more the merrier on that game.
Well, I mean, even played it 1 player is not bad because you can play 2 characters, and I would recommend playing 2 characters. You can play 1 if you want. Good luck. But I'd recommend playing 2 characters, and I find that it's just as fun to me.
Okay.
It's just as fun to me.
Number 12, and this will end this set of board games.
No, we got number 11 to go.
Well, no, for these group.
Oh,
this
for the
group.
grouping. I'm sorry.
For
So
the
we had
group.
multiples of these.
Yes, multiples. This is the OG, the original. It is Azul.
Now, I think I have mentioned that one.
Yes, you have. Azul. So, crossover, 2017, Next Move Games. 2 to 4 players, ranked 77 on BGG. Simple little tile game. You have put out the little tiles in a little community area. Pick what you want. The rest go to the center. If you pick from the center and the -1 tiles there, you must pick it up. You fill in little side on your board. At the end of the round, you put them over to the grid. Problem is, if you have anything left over as you're pulling from the stacks here, you go in the negative. It starts -1 for the first 4, then -2 for the next 2, then 3, and -4. It's a fun game. It's a really fun game. My wife, a few years back, when we did the con, you did introduce it to my wife. My wife went, I want this game. She likes it is because it reminds her of the Spanish tile work.
Of course, yeah.
And she said, this game, whenever she's, and it's funny, whenever she's really tired and just dead tired, and don't really want to think, let's play this game.
Yeah.
Why? Because she just picks. She has no rhyme or reason why she's picking the way she picks. She just pick, okay, your turn. And it's like, let's see which one. No, okay, your turn. Okay, your turn. Okay.
That's because she's thinking ahead, Lewis. Your wife is thinking ahead.
5 rounds ahead.
Well, you never know. She may be going, okay, if you don't take that, I'll take that. If you take that, I'm going to take this. You know, she may be doing that kind of strategy in her head.
Yeah, she does. She does because I look over and going, okay, you already filled half your board and we only done 3 rounds. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, me and my wife likes this game. We have, it's a laughter between me and her with this game. But so number 12 is Azul for me.
Well, that's my favorite out of all the Azul games. This is the original.
It is.
I like the textile feels of the little tiles. Magnificent. And she's talking about the Spanish-looking tile work. I think that's what drew me to the game too, was seeing that, because when you go to you go to Mexico or you go to a Spanish-style house, and have that tiling, that's meant to be in that era.
Yes.
Beautiful tile work, and who doesn't love that? And even the name of the game is Spanish for blue.
Yeah, for
right?
blue. Yes,
right.
Azul,
So Azul.
Blue.
So it's a great game. It's fantastic. That is a good pick, Lewis. I think Azul should have been higher for me too, but I did my rankings through Pub Meeple.
Yeah, Pub Meeple. Yes.
Pub Meeple, and so it probably pitted it up against a game that I'd rather play than that one. Probably put it up against Cthulhu Death May Die. No, anyway, so my number 12 is a game that this company went out of business. It's not this game. I don't know if it gets a lot of love. Don't know if it was a lot of games published. It's called The Shared Dream. This is ranked 7,646 on BGG. It's by Odam Publishing. It's 2 to 4 players, 90 to 120 minutes to play. The Shared Dream. In The Shared Dream, you're working cooperatively. Here's another cooperative game. You're working cooperatively to stop some bad thing that's going to happen in the world. You have 2 personas. You have I don't know really what to call that one. You have an out-of-body persona or other world. You have 2 different worlds. It's almost like the Upside Down in Stranger Things, right? Okay. So you have the real world and you have something else.
Something else, yes.
It's not the Upside Down, but that's kind of like it is. And you have a choice of how you want to turn at the beginning of your turn or when you're able to turn. You're much stronger in the other world than you are in your human form, right? But you have places you have to go to discover clues to understand your dream. You have these dream cards that you have to turn over one by one when you accomplish the goal on it. you turn up the next card and accomplish the goal on that, and it gives you story of what's going on in your dream. Why are you here? What are you trying to accomplish? What are you trying to stop? The game is just a lot of fun, and like I said, the company went out of business, and so I don't think I'll ever be able to get any of the expansions or anything like that. I think I got one in the box that I traded for. But the Shared Dream just hit all the buttons for me, for gameplay, for fun factor. Now, replayability may be an issue once you go through all the schemes, but things happen differently at different times on the board too. So randomly kind of set up with where they go, what goes on. So that's kind of a little bit different. But so replayability may be an issue for me down the road. But as for now, fantastic game. And that's why the Shared Dream is my number 12.
Never heard of that game. Never heard of it.
I don't think a lot of people have. Like I said, it's ranked like 7,600 something on BGG. So, and I don't think that a lot of people know about it or got it. It was probably kickstarted and just the company went out of business. So, but I wish they'd bring some more of that stuff back, or I could find some more of it. It's fantastic.
Well, number 11 for me.
Last one.
Actually was a Kickstarter for me. One of the few times I Kickstarted. My wife is actually thinking of doing a Kickstarter soon for one board game that she noticed.
Yeah.
Number 11 is Element Silver Edition.
Element Silver Edition. Never heard of it.
A 2019 game. Rather Dashing Games publisher. 2 to 4 players. It's ranked 7,167 on BGG.
That's down there with my Shared Dream.
It is down there with about 30 to 60 minute gameplay. I have played it. It can be done in 10 minutes.
Is that the game's over and you won, or is that because you played bad and you lost?
Is you play bad, your opponent played good, and you lost.
Okay.
It is a competitive game. It's a board. The board is nice. Very nice outlay on the board. The components are nice. The original didn't have the little extra stuff on it. So the Silver Edition, they actually renamed it Silver Edition, and there was enough backing. Everybody got the extra little stuff, which is awesome. There are elements, and each element does a certain ability. You are a mage. It's more better if there's 3 or more players. 2 players is kind of, I'm after you, you after me, da-da-da. But it's more, 3 or more is fun because you are out after the person to your right. You're not going after the person to your left. It's only to your right.
All the time?
All the time. You only go over to the person to your right. So, if we play this, you don't have to worry about Christine. Because I will always...
I'd have to worry about you.
Yes.
Where we sit it. We have... For some reason, we're creatures of habits. We always sit in the same place when we go play the games and stuff like that at Three Sons. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So, you have a little bag, and you get to draw out 4 tiles. And what? Sorry, folks.
Wow.
You get to draw 4 tiles out. Now, you have 1 movement. Correction. You have 2 movements. But if you want to move more, you draw less tiles. Less tiles equals more movement. There are 4 types of tiles on the basic. There's a red tile. That's fire. You put the fire down. But if you put another fire down, it spreads in a straight line. You have earth, which doesn't do anything. You have water. You put the water down, put another one, it spreads. Then you have white, which is cloud, which lets you stack them up, and you can bounce from one end to the other end over fire, over water. So even earth, because when you get 2 tiles of earth, that's a mountain, and you can't jump over mountains. You have to use clouds to jump over mountains. Now, if you have a fire, one fire, then you put one fire in between, they spread both ways. But you put one, that's a fire here, here, here. You put there, it's fire spreads 3 ways. So the fire just spreads out. Now, if you put water, you can use the water to stop fire, of course.
Sure. That's what they do with firemen. Firemen do that.
Earth can stop fire. Water erodes earth. So it plays on the elementals, on how you can stop somebody from trapping you. When you cannot move, when your mage cannot move out of danger, you're out, while the other 2 players keep going. So there's other parts of it. There's ability to get lightning. There's ability to change other things on the field with other tokens. But it's a very chess-like game. And you're always worrying about the person on your right, on your left, because they have to come after you. That sometimes you forget that what is the other person doing. They're not after you, but are they eventually going to block you, not on purpose, but by accident? You got to be looking. And I've played one game that Christine, she played it. She ended up having, it just happened to be little clouds. So there was 3 clouds. It allows you to move 3 steps. But that's not your regular move. Those are free steps. So she's jumping from cloud to cloud. There were like 7 different cloud heights, and she just jumped, kept on getting away from, I forgot who was playing, but she just was jumping in the air. Then finally, like, okay, now I take my regular move. I'm safe for now. It's a fun game. It's a very strategized game, but for me, it's a hook to play. That's why number 11 is Element, Silver Edition.
Never played it, never heard of it, but I'd give it a shot. Sounds fun. My number 11, Lewis, you and I played this together. Arkham Horror, the card game. It's ranked number 7 on my list last year or last couple years ago. It's ranked 26 on BGG. It's by Fantasy Flight Games. 1 to 2 players, 60 to 120 minutes. Oh, if you haven't heard of Arkham Horror, the card game, you've been under a rock somewhere, or out of the country, or on another planet, because even in other countries they've heard of this game, I'm sure. Arkham Horror, the card game, is a fantastic storytelling, card-driven game where you take on a role of a character, you moving through whatever setting you're in, trying to accomplish your goal before darkness falls and the evil scenario goes off.
Yes.
Now, if the evil scenario goes off, you still move on to the next deal. You're just going to have penalties. You're going to have problems. If you don't kill the high priest guy or whatever he is, the evil priest, this game, he'll follow you to the next game. One. So this game has an ongoing deal through the storyline of the story that I think is fantastic. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I play it solo or with another person. My wife and I have played it together. Lewis and I have played it together. I played it with Josh one time. But I just enjoy the game a lot. I bought some expansions for it. Guys, these living card games, I can't keep up with.
No, you can't. You can't.
So I can't buy all your content. I would love to, but I cannot because it's expensive to buy all the content. And then Fantasy Flight, I bought the older version of Arkham Horror card game, right? Then you come out with a new one that has enough cards for all the characters to be able to be created, because in the first one you either had to have 2 sets or you couldn't create all the characters in the box. Shame on you that you didn't you didn't kind of sell a little upgrade pack for the others. You may have one out, I don't know, but I went out and got yet another copy so that I could make enough for everything. So that kind of aggravated me. And I know you got to upgrade your games, and I know you got to do that, but that kind of aggravated me. I've spent good money, and then you come back a few years later and dump a deluxe edition or whatever you want to call it, a second edition out, and it has everything that you need in the box, which should have been done the first time.
Yeah.
But despite that, Arkham Horror, the card game, is a fantastic game. Fantasy Flight did it right. It's a good game. Like I said, I love Cthulhu. I love Arkham Horror. I like the horror theme genre altogether. So, my number 11 was Arkham Horror, the card game. Lewis, that's everything. You got anything else?
No, that's a great choice for your number 11. Great choice. I've played it. I played it wrong the first time. I played with Calvin. He got me straightened out. Played the second time. I hated it because I died quick. Then I was like, let me try again. I had to make a mistake. But I like the game. I like that horror aspect of the game. In the top 10, you're going to see some horror stuff.
Really?
Yeah, you're going to see some horror stuff in the
Lewis,
top 10.
I like horror-themed games. I have a lot of them. I mean, I got Comb Awards sitting over there. That didn't make my top 100, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So I got a lot of dark-themed games, horror-themed, Halloween-themed game, whatever you want to call it. Guys, I hope you liked what we're doing here. I hope you like what we're doing. Hope you're enjoying these videos. We're going to announce next video who won the game.
Yep.
So be listening, see if you won. We are wanting you to subscribe. I sure would appreciate it. Tell somebody about the channel. Ask them to subscribe, because if I hit 500 subscribers by December 31st, I will do a giveaway in January 2025 of a board game that was in 2024, something that was hot, as long as it's not an ungodly amount of money. I'll get it sent out, and we'll do an entry or a giveaway somehow. Okay. Anything else I'm missing, Lewis?
I don't think so. I know a lot of them are waiting for the top 10 next week.
I know people are excited to look. I hope they're excited.
I
do too. I appreciate all you guys that are watching. I appreciate all you that comment and subscribe. We had some good commenting this time. Really appreciate it, guys. I do this. I do it for me because it's therapeutic for me, and I enjoy hanging out with Lewis. But I do this because I want people to see games that they may not see anywhere else, or they're caught up in the cult of the new, and all they look at is new games. And Lewis and I both have had some older games on these lists that are worth checking out.
Yes,
absolutely worth checking out. So, if you find some of these games on here that you like and that you would like to check out, if you live around this area where we're at, and meet us up at a game store, and we'll be glad to play. Guys, the last thing I got to do is my tagline. Get a board game to the table, spend time with your friends and your family, and thank you for watching Calvin's Got Game.